Hey everyone, and welcome to today's Explainer. We're going to dive right in and explain the details of this topic we've been looking at, a truly powerful blueprint for building personal character from the ground up, called the architecture of integrity and excellence. If you've ever wondered how true character is actually, systematically constructed, you are definitely in the right place.
So it all starts with one really fundamental question. How do we build true integrity? Because let's be honest, it's not something we're just born with, right? And it certainly doesn't happen by accident. Integrity is an architecture. It's something that can be deliberately built, block by block, as long as you understand the design.
All right, let's look at the overarching structure of this framework, the architecture of integrity, a framework for character. And that brings us to our very first core concept, Pillar 1, the habit of excellence. Now, this architecture relies really heavily on foundational pillars. The first one is framing excellence not as just some rare one-off event, but as an actual habit. And the text breaks this down into two continuous internal actions. First, helping oneself, which basically means taking absolute personal agency. And second, doing the best all the time. And that means all the time, not just when your boss or your friends are watching, and definitely not just when it's easy. That relentless internal effort, that's your baseline. Now, you might be thinking, wow, that sounds exhausting. But that relentless effort has a very distinct payoff. By committing to these actions, you literally start discovering the rewards of excellence. It's an investment, and it yields tangible, deeply rewarding results for anyone who actually practices it.
Moving on, let's look at how this takes shape in the real world. Manifesting excellence outwardly, applying the habit.
So once you establish that internal mindset of excellence, it absolutely has to manifest outwardly. It flows from the invisible to the highly visible. It's a progression, really. First, you have excellence of thought, getting your mind right. Second, excellence of speech, translating those good thoughts into your words. And finally, treating people with excellence, which is translating those words into outward action. It's the complete package. But hold on, here is a vital reality check for us. Excellence all by itself, it simply isn't enough. It has to be balanced, it must be paired directly against a twin pillar known as the habit of responsible. You literally cannot have the architecture of integrity with just one side of the equation. Which brings us perfectly to the next section, Pillar 2, the habit of responsibility. If excellence is all about doing your absolute best, this second pillar is what grounds that excellence in pure accountability. And you don't build this just by reading a dictionary definition, right? You build it through observational study. To really construct this architecture, you have to actively examine the real-world traits of people who already embody deep responsibility.
Which leads us to a pretty critical turning point. How do we actually boost integrity? I mean, we've established excellence and we've observed responsibility, but how do we bridge that gap to achieve the ultimate goal?
Well, the connection the text makes is super direct. Responsibility is the key to boosting integrity. You don't just study responsible people for the fun of it, you adopt and apply their habits, because that is the functional, real-world key that actually elevates your own character. Now for the really practical part. Stopping the excuses, the ultimate catalyst. This is where both of these pillars finally collide in the real world. The total culmination of this entire training involves a highly specific 5-step methodology to just stop making excuses. It underscores this crucial reality. You don't just hope you'll stop making excuses one day. You actually have to follow a structured process to actively eliminate them, paving the exact way for total responsibility. And honestly, it all comes circling back to that one incredibly demanding standard from earlier. Do the best all the time. That right there is the heartbeat of this entire framework. So as we wrap up this explainer, I want you to consider this for your own life. In those areas where you're currently making excuses, what would happen if you completely stopped them today and truly committed to doing your best all the time?